Welcome back. And in case you forget, it's us, our table talk. I'm Amir. That's my old man over there. And this is Amar. We thank you guys for your constant support. We've recently created our Instagram page, a Danby _99. We appreciate the interactions. We appreciate you guys liking us, following us, and just reposting the things that we've been posting. And we will continue to post daily / weekly content on our page. Also, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Instagram at ADAMB _99. That's a Danby. That's the name of the Instagram. That's the name of our brand. And this is our table talk. So what's up, Dad? We ain't been on in a couple of weeks. Ain't seen you. Ain't been back home in a minute. How was your birthday? How's everything at home? How's everything at Flint?
Oh, everything is good, man. Birthday was good. Kicked it. Was happy. I got a little birthday gift. I was waiting, and I was excited about snowfall to start. So that dropped on my birthday. So I felt like that was my own personal little gift. From John Singleton. Saying rest of his soul. But I felt like he wanted to bless me on my birthday so I could be entertained. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That morning, excited, man. I love me some snowfall. I mean, have y'all been watching Snowfall? How you feel about it, man?
Yeah, I really enjoy Snowfall. I feel like from you telling us when we were younger to watch The Wire and having that type of TV show being so good, and then watching Snowfall, is really good. I enjoy it. I know I got into Snowfall for quarantine. I'm saying, like, I watched the first 3 seasons in 2 weeks. Like, it had me so locked in.
Right.
I love it. And then
right?
even to now, it's like the episodes have been dropping on Wednesday, but I've just been waiting. I'm ready to watch it, but I'm not, because it's like it's only one season. I started off watching 3, so I knew it was episodes I had to prepare for. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna just wait till a couple pile up and binge watch them. I can't watch them week by week. It's going. I can't. I just can't.
Right. I'm like you, man. I just can't wait, because I really do, enjoy this show. It ain't too many shows that I really get into, but Snowfall is one of those that really grab my attention and that really resonates with me. And it's funny that you mentioned The Wire, because I don't know. Mar, tell me, man, when I made y'all watch The Wire back in the day, I know y'all was looking at me like, man, watch this. Especially considering the way I made y'all watch The Wire, man. What do you remember about watching The Wire?
Man, I remember nights of coming back from practice, nights of coming back from working out. You were like, we gonna watch an episode of The Wire tonight. Me and me were like, at the time we was like, I'm sleepy. Like, you used to make us, like, not really stay up, but we could stay up late to watch The Wire, but anything else we had to go to bed. So we would watch it, and then you would pause it, rewind it, ask us a lot of questions that have us just critically think about situations and how these situations happen in life. I mean, because it was based off true events. So and the way they brought every aspect of life in it, with the police, with the media, with the streets, with the schools, with every aspect they brought to it. That's why a lot of people call it the greatest show ever made. So, and I feel like with Snowfall, like I'm like you, Dad. Like, it takes me a minute to get into a show, especially on TV. Like, people know me. I just watch sports, and
right,
that's about it. So if a TV show gonna grab my attention, they better grab it. It's Snowfall. And Mir was trying to put me on for a minute, but I wasn't. I didn't want to watch it yet. But I caught up. I told Mir I caught up in 3 days. I caught up all three seasons in 3 days.
But it's funny that y'all bring up The Wire, because I did try to use that to teach, and just have y'all think about certain situations, because The Wire was the closest thing that I could find to real life. Everything is Hollywood, when it come on TV. But I did like the way The Wire kind of delved into the social issues when it came with the people that they were following, or the stars of the show or whatever. And like you said, man, they went from law enforcement to local government to the media to the schools. I mean, it was just so much woven into there, and you can kind of see the dynamics at play that make some things difficult at times to happen, or why some things happen, and you're curious as to, well, who made that decision? You know what I mean? It's just like you said. I tried to make y'all critically think when we watched it, because I wanted to put y'all in situations that I would hope you would never be in. But if you were to kind of recognize and understand situations, you can make better decisions, and understand some things are not just about y'all, you as young Black men, some things about the system at large, because you know what I'm saying? So you got to understand how the system kind of works. And I thought the Wire laid that out very, very good. But why the hell they have to start the season off like that, man? Oh my God.
Franklin, I don't know. Franklin came back and I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
He messing up the church's money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back on the scene. Not everybody beefing. What kind of takeaways? When you say you like to watch Snowfall, I know it's entertaining. You know, we've talked about entertainment for a long time. TV shows, music, whatever it is, entertainment. What is it about Snowfall that makes it a good show for you?
Well, I think where it resonates from for me is kind of hearing the stories you used to tell about your childhood, and we had a Flint episode 2, so you guys go back and watch that to get some more background. But just how you grew up and how we asked you how growing up in the '80s was, and how the crack epidemic became prominent in Flint, but it was kind of caught on later. So I think it resonates with me because coming from y'all generation, that's where it started. And my mom, she grew up in LA and during middle school years. So she used to tell me about how serious it used to get out there, but I didn't really get it. So
your mom used to live in the jungle. She was in LA. She was in the jungle.
Yeah, she used to tell me stories about how bad LA could get. So watching Snowfall, I think it paints a picture. It paints a picture of the stories. It paints a picture of the stories mom used to tell, and it paints a picture of the stories you used to tell in Flint. And also, I think it's nostalgia from The Wire, because I know I tell people about The Wire, or that we talk about The Wire, they be like, "How you know about The Wire? Are you young? Like, how you know about that?" My dad put me on. We had all the DVDs, probably still behind you right there, all the DVDs.
You better believe it. I ain't never get rid of The Wire, man.
Yeah. So I think what caught my eye about Snowfall 2 was the little things that added up to big things as the season progressed, and as season 1 really was how it progressed, and how the character development of Reed and Franklin, the character development to Leon, to his uncle, to his mom. And I think season 4 is really bringing that Wire feel, when not a lady that's in the media asking all the questions and still want to dig up the question about what happened at the funeral, and about the police. Now the police really getting involved. And it's like, it's every aspect. So you're gonna have the media, the police, and then his mama talking about, yeah, I know somebody. I want to talk to somebody in the mayor's office. I'm like, oh, they bringing all the Wire back. They bringing political, media views, police views, and street views. I said, it's giving me real Wire feel. So I think it's giving me some nostalgia from when we was younger too.
What about you, Mir?
Well, for me, the Snowfall is just showing how, you know, even though things go on in the streets, even though things go on in the drug game, there's a lesson to it. They show constantly throughout Snowfall how to leverage deals, how to make amends with enemies, you know, how to make money with people you don't like, how to make money with people you do like. And me being a business major, not saying I'm gonna go sell drugs, but you know, it's showing you
what they teaching you in college.
It's showing you, you know, people still do those things in all aspects of life. You know, police making deals with drug dealers, government officials making deals with police, government officials making deals with drug dealers. You know, it's just bring everything together of how they're all connected. You know, all the characters are connected in some way, but not connected at the same time. Also, I feel it just shows, a test to my point in the previous episodes, of how us as Black males, you know, fall into this trap of, you're like Franklin, you have a hard situation at home, your mother is struggling, working for little to none. Like, what do you do to survive? You do anything needs necessary in order to get money, take care of your family. You see Franklin taking care of his mom. You know, he has his own house and things like that. The family is straight. Like, people do in those type of situations of poverty and desperation, they do anything it takes to get money. So I feel like it exploits that true issue of, when people are in poverty, no jobs, they're faced with economic issues, issues around their communities, drugs and all things like that. They will do anything they need to do to survive, and that's what Franklin is doing. That's what a lot of people do in reality, and it's just nice that you can see it. Well, we know it, but other people can see like why people will even get into these things, why police officers become dirty cops. They're not always. I mean, they're protected, but they're not. They want some too. Politicians want some too. Government officials, Reed Thompson, the CIA, he wants some too. So it shows how everything is not peaches and cream. Everything is not sweet and dandy. People will do anything they need, including anyone. People will do anything they need to get some money to take care of their family.
Because everybody has a price, or so they say. Everybody has a price because money makes the world go round, right? In the society that we live in, everybody want to make some bread. Everybody can use a few extra dollars. For me, it resonates on a couple of different levels because it shows, one, you stay down with who you came up with, your friendships, that loyalty. That goes a long way, right? The people you were with before you had money, before you made the come up, the ones you come up with, that loyalty and friendship goes a long way. But also, to your point, Franklin be making CEO moves and decisions, don't
he? Yeah.
So remember when we were younger and I would point certain things out to you in the hood, people I know, situations that was going on, and I would tell you that I don't necessarily agree with the destruction that the gang, the dope gang, the drug gang, whatever, places on our community. But I understand people when they're in certain situations, they have to make decisions for their own benefit and their own welfare. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's what they do. So I tried to get y'all to see, let's not put ourselves in those positions where we have to make those kinds of decisions. But the point is, a lot of these guys make CEO decisions. A lot of these guys could be running small businesses, running Fortune 500 companies, because they do have the mental acumen to be businessmen. And we got to remember with Franklin on Snowfall, I mean, he was a prep student. He had a scholarship to college, right? And then because of that situation, one, the situation where they couldn't pay tuition because there was a mix up with the scholarship, but then the embarrassment he had to suffer to be one of few Black men on that campus, and for him to be exited the way he was exited, it felt a bit disrespectful, right? Franklin felt like the system was against him. So when you think about it, when Franklin jumped in the game, was he trying to be a drug dealer?
No.
For him, it was about what? And he talked about it a lot in season 1. It was about freedom. What was that freedom?
Freedom to basically, I wouldn't say do what he wanted, but do what he wanted on his own accord.
Exactly. Live life on his own terms. Live life on his own terms because he saw that playing by the rules, trying to adapt to the system and be a willing participant, a part of the system. A lot of time, the small people, most of the time in real life, the small people get crushed, right? They had this burden of society where it feels like they never have a hand up. So for him, it was about the freedom to exist on his own terms. But let me ask you, is Franklin a gangster?
Nah.
So why would you say Franklin is not a gangster?
I say not a gangster because going back to season 1, you go back to season 1, and Leon did most of the dirty work for him. But he would go into bars, he would meet with enemies, he would meet with friends, and he would talk the deal out. But Leon and his crew that was living
he
with
would
Leon
always talk the deal out.
Yeah. He would always talk the deal out. He would always make a better way to make money. He was always seeking another way to expand. He was seeking another way to get the money clean. He was seeking another way to keep them safe. But he wasn't out there doing the dirt. He felt bad. You could see And in all the seasons, every time he did something, he reflect back and probably say, I could have did that a different way. And then, Leon would be like, this is the way it got to be. But he always thinks
Leon that pit
ahead.
bull. Leon that pit bull. He ready.
Yeah. So nah, he's not a gangster in that aspect, but he a gangster making that money though. So
right. Well, see, my biggest thing is we have it confused because you're right. Franklin is a hustler. And what's a hustler's number one MO?
Money. Get money.
Protecting that money, protecting, that source of income. So yeah, he always finds the silver lining to cut that deal, to give himself leverage, to maintain power. So people I talk to, they knock on Franklin. Oh, he won't kill nobody. He won't shoot nobody, this, that, the other. But when you think about it, that's real life. Everybody not gangsters. Everybody not a killer. You know what I'm saying? Like we need more humane people in the world. But that's because he's a CEO. He think the game, right? He's a visionary. He can see it. He can see the long game rather than just the short game. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I tried to use The Wire to show y'all what games are being played. Because I told you can't play the game unless you know what the ground rules are. And these ground rules are unwritten, but you got to find your stride no matter what it is, legal or illegal. You got to find your stride and understand how you fit in. Franklin know his role. He know he ain't no gangster. You know what I'm saying? But I think some of the things that help Franklin is the fact that because he was a prep student, because he's had opportunity, he has a different outlook on the world, right? On life. He sees things beyond the hood, whereas some of his friends have only seen the hood, right?
Yeah.
We talked about this in previous episodes, that sometimes we get so caught up in what we know in the here and now, we can't see beyond that and understand there's much more life out there. And so Franklin is kind of like a visionary, right? Because his vision, he's gotten in trouble with his own crew because he's tried to protect the money more than he's tried to protect his people, right? Think about his issue with Kevin and how Kevin got killed. The reason why Leon pissed off with everything is about money. That's the number one thing, because he's a hustler. He's a hustler. So think about The Wire. Stringer was a hustler, right? He wanted to make money and protect the empire. But think about season 3 when Avon got out. What Avon want?
Streets. He wanted the corners back.
He wanted his corners. He said, I'm a soldier. I need my name to ring out. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of not saying that Leon want his name to ring out, but that's what he is he's a soldier. But that's also limited in scope and sight, right? You remember when Prop Joe was talking was talking to Stringer Bell, and he asked him, he said, man, you ever heard of Charlie Scholes? He was like, who the hell is Charlie Scholes? He was like, exactly. Because Charlie Scholes just so dope. He didn't drop no bodies. He just made his money. And that's what a hustler is. He's just trying to make his money. He ain't trying to get into that gangster stuff. But depending on the game you play, you got to have some gangsters on your team. Even in legal business, you got to have some gangsters on your team. I mean, look at your ex-president, right? But that's what resonates to me is because it shows different dynamics and different sides of the coin. You know what I'm saying? There are different personalities and different ways that people go about approaching the same game. Leon and Franklin, Manboy, Scuck, they all playing the same game, right? But they all playing it differently. And Franklin is that CEO. And that's what we need in our Black community. Is more guys like that can parlay that into something legal, because we need to build for our own. We need businesses. You know what I'm saying? We need people like that to speak to the community and say, you can do it as well. Not talking about selling dope or anything like that, but that you can have that ingenuity. You have all the tools that it needs to where you can be a successful business owner of your own. Because that's all the dope game is, right? It's just retail. That's all it is. but you need a visionary on your team. That's a Fortune 500 CEO, and we got to channel that energy into positive things. But yeah,
those shows show true emotion, true grit and grind, true hustlers, true gangsters. I mean everything, and even though they're TV shows, they teach lessons, and you taught us those lessons, and we've applied those lessons. Like you said, watching these shows, I always know it sounds bad, but everything is about money. People make decisions based on money. People will do whatever for money. Like you said, we always gotta look for ways to make money because money make the world go around, and these shows are showing it. Whether it's drugs, like I said, whether it's drugs, politicians, police, all of that. People are trying to get theirs.
Yeah, man. You know that plays out in real life. It's kind of funny, man, because I don't know if y'all remember that episode of The Wire where the chief of police, Burrell, told him he wanted dope on the table. He wanted dope on the table. And remember, things were going bad. They had a spike in crime and people were questioning the police and their tactics. So they had to put out this public relations stunt to say, we're doing our job. I want to see dope on the table. Well, guess what we just had this week in Flint? Dope on the table. Dope on the table. And to me, I'm looking at it like, that's very good. I don't want to diminish, law enforcement's work because like we've said, Flint is pretty fierce. And, we got some things that we need to clean up in our community. But the issue for me is what's on the other side of dope on the table, right? Both of y'all have mentioned poverty, people's living situations, socioeconomic status. All of that can create a situation where people have to make decisions that they wouldn't make if they weren't in that position, right? So what's the investment that's been going on in Flint? To reinvest in their people, to reinvest in the citizens, to reinvest in the youth. And I say that because if a community doesn't have hope, if a community doesn't see a viable pathway for them to be able to thrive as citizens, then they might do whatever they have to do to survive. Am I wrong?
I mean, I think you're wrong in the part of they might do. No, they will do.
Right.
I mean, but that's just being honest. You put in those situations, you see other people making money, you see maybe your family members making money, whatever, and they will do the same thing because they're not seeing jobs that's around here. They're not seeing people thriving through education. They're not seeing a city that's built to thrive off jobs, educated people.
Something other than GM, right?
Yeah, something other than GM, which GM doesn't, requires anything but a high school education. So,
but even with that, GM ain't what it used to be.
GM, you can't even get in there for real. Yeah, you can't even get in there for real. Yeah, it's not the benefits they used to give, the housing they used to provide, the community that they used to provide around the GM plants and things like that. So I feel like, not they might, they will. You will. If there's nothing to build off of, if there's nothing to look out to, if you go, think about our street. If you go our street, look left, look right, there's a whole bunch of houses tore down. There's no communities, there's no infrastructure for success. And without infrastructure for success, there will be people will become successful, but when they become successful, they will branch out to other places where they know they can be successful. They will put things back in place in the city, but it won't be enough to get the city into a place where everyone feels like they can make it. It's still going to be those people at the bottom to where they see poverty, they see drugs at an early age. That's the first thing, they're exposed to it very early. And it's not like the people they're getting raised by are trying to hide it from them. They like, you gonna be doing the same thing we do. So they
right. This is a way of life. This is how we survive.
Life. Yeah. So they bring them up through it. It's not like I don't see that. They bring them up through it and they do things that they feel is right, which in a sense, they are right, because what job are they about to go get within the city that they live in? What job are they about to go get? What opportunity are they going to have? rather than having opportunities of making money, making it fast, making it now, and making it more than whoever it is that's working at Walmart full time, slave. I mean, not slaving, but working they tail off, manual labor when they can be saying, when they can do, I can just do this quick little nickel and dime, quick little
I can
scams,
do
quick little
numbers for
whatever.
half the time and make your paycheck in a day.
Yeah, so it's like once they see that money, it's a wrap. Once they see that lifestyle, it's a wrap. That's the lifestyle they're gonna fall into. But there's nothing, like you said, there's no infrastructure built off of it. There's nothing they can see around and feel as if that's not their only route to take.
So let me ask you, Mark, why be heavy-handed on crime? Why take this tough stance on crime? They're not providing resources or things, like I said, to invest back in the community to give them hope. I mean, we've seen this. What does being heavy on crime, what does that really do for a community, in your opinion?
In my opinion, being heavy on crime I mean, I don't know. In a sense, it ramps it up, I guess, because if you bring it in, because I read an article, if you bring it in state police on top of the local police, and you trying to be heavy on crime, state police is not from this area. They're not from Flint. There's a stigma on how Flint is. So if you come to the city and you're not from the city, you're gonna think any and everybody is doing something. And you can see that and getting pulled over for nothing. You can see that getting pulled over because your tent was too dark, getting pulled over because you fit the description. So
The so-called description.
Right. So I think being heavy on crime only ramps up the division between police and the community. And I think it really just puts the city on it puts the city at a standstill, because focusing on crime, we've been top 10 in crime since the freaking 90s. So it's like
80s.
Your stance is the 80s. So your stance has never been really on crime. So what's the difference now? I seen an article about closing liquor stores and party stores and closing the city down at like 9 o'clock. That didn't stop people. We did that in the pandemic, and that didn't stop the crime. We did that during COVID and the shutdown. That never stopped the crime. So it's something for the media, something for people to see, like, yeah, they're getting the guns off the street and they getting but you can go buy another gun on the black market. So it's like, I don't think it's really doing anything but making in the media make it seem like that they're stopping the crime in Flint when it's really not.
It's like a never-ending cycle, right? It's like a never. Yeah. So if you don't put in some type of intervention to say this is what we're going to do to try and change it, outside of just targeting crime, you get the same results. They've been doing the same thing for years. Because you can still be heavy-handed on crime, but you got to have all of this other stuff going on as well to give people hope. And one of the biggest things is we need to reinvest in our educational system. We need to reinvest. We need to give people hope. And the thing that bugs me the most about this is that you get city officials trying to blame citizens for what's going on. Well, if y'all would speak up, if y'all would do this. But my thing is to city officials, well, what are you doing to help clean the city up? One, to reinvest in the people. Two, three, to put us in a position where we can attract companies to come here, to where we can provide jobs with a livable wage for people to have some hope. You got to make all of those connections so it makes sense for the people, right? Then they can make different decisions, because you're right. If I got to make a decision based on what I see in front of me, what I see to the left, and what I see to the right of me, oh, I can jump in this game real quick and I can be successful. Like you said, I'm not going to go to school, put in all this time to go work at Walmart and get done. I got older sisters, I got brothers, cousins, I got my mom. I done seen this story before. That ain't for me. So yeah, we got to invest in other areas besides just acting like law enforcement is really reducing crime because they arresting folks. Law enforcement is reactive. Reactive. That means they come after something happens. I don't know who people think police are, but they are not Superman. They do not stop crime from happening. So I don't care how many police you have on the street. I don't care what time you talk about closing down the city. Everything you do is going to be reactive. We need proactive strategies to help people. We know what happens in situations where there's a lot of concentrated poverty. We know what happens where there's not a lot of opportunity. We know what happens when the socioeconomic status says you are one of the poorest cities in America. So we can't just arrest our way out of this situation. We got to reinvest in our community. We got to believe in our people. And we really, really got to do all of these things simultaneously.